Napoli-Roma is upon us, coming up on Sunday, 12 p.m. time. Ooh, I feel a little nervous. Am I expecting a result? I'd like to see a draw, especially in Napoli. It's going to be sold out at the Maradona. Guys, today in this episode, not going to take up too much of your time. We're going to go over Ranieri's probable formation for that match, exactly what he did at Leicester, as well as this new kit coming out. Well, it's new, but it's kind of old, goes back to the first days, if you know where I'm going to get with this, as well as what's going on with Piacenza and their managers, and then Milan Juventus probable formation. So if we are looking at what's going to happen, I think it's going to collapse into a 4-4-2. And we're looking at this tweet here. This is from Mancinismo, and this was sent to me, I think, by my buddy Galal, one of the group chats I've got. And it says, idea 4-2-3-1 with Pellegrini at left wing, Dybala at the attacking mid-role, with Sule on the right behind Dovbyk. That would be the 3. And a 4-4-2 in the defensive phase, with the left back being Angelino, with Selic, who would rest deeper. He'd be the more defensive of the wing backs, and that's how it's got to be. I don't think Selic has any skill going forward. Midfield, that would be Cristante with Kone. This is okay. I was almost hoping that we'd see something a bit more offensive, but I suppose Ranieri believes that this is more balanced with Kone. But I do want to see Pesili more. I think he's the better option here, even if we speak about the defensive aspects that Cristante can offer. I would also like to see Lefebvre considered a bit more, perhaps even an attacking midfield role, and Baldanzi, who I think has done everything in his power to prove that he is a starter. But nevertheless, this is what it looks like from that 3, Pellegrini, Dybala, and Sule. Pellegrini's going to have to prove himself, though. The jury's way out. The jury's gone. The jury's gone home. It's after 5 p.m. And what they're saying is if he's a starter, I'm saying that I don't think he's earned it. If I look at the performances from somebody like Baldanzi, he's way more the person who's in form. He's the player who should definitely be starting. But I suppose because of the mechanism, this is what Ranieri feels is correct. As we're looking at the probable formations from Gazzetta dello Sport, we could see something very similar to this, but in the 3-man midfield, you do see Pesili starting without Dybala, and I doubt that. There's no way that Ranieri leaves Dybala on the bench. So we can look at that bench there. Speaking of Abdul Hamid, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes back to Saudi Arabia or somewhere else in January. Sangare, we want to see him get some time. Hummels is going to be out injured. He's not fully fit. With Paredes, who looks to be another player who could reemerge under Ranieri, it's rumored that he's going to go back to Boca Juniors in the January window already, but maybe this appointment changes things. Lefebvre, another one. So if we look across the board here, we do see a much younger Roma, and I think that I know that Gasolfi had mentioned this in his presser yesterday, the day before, that they are trying to keep the age lower, and that's something that they need to stay on with, and they have to continue with. And if you choose a pathway, he said that you have to persevere with it. Unable to play, Hermoso, who's out injured, Salamakers, who should return next week, the 2 of them, and Shomorodov, who's out injured. But Napoli looks like there's some discrepancy between who will start from Lobotka and Gilmour. I think Gilmour's a great player. Lobotka is too, though. And then McTominay will surely start, or as they say in Napoli, McTominay ahead of Folaruncio. It's so funny how if you put that into dialect in Italian, you convert to something that's a Scottish last name or an Irish one in McTominay, indeed. But they've got a bench too, and Gonj is good. Simeone, mentioned Folaruncio, Marin, Mazzocchi has talent in him. Raspadori, I can't believe he's still not a set starter for his team. And Spinazzola, if you remember, he's been put out there. So you look at that probable starting formation. Also, I mean, the starting formation for Napoli is strong with Antonio Conte, Ramani, Buongiorno has been very good. Oliveira is one of the best pickups of the season. Lobotka, McTominay, Anguissa, who's made his move permanent. I think last year he did that. Kvaratskhelia, who could be sold out to Barcelona if he doesn't renew his contract, with Politano on the right and Lukaku there. Okay. One other thing that I wanted to look at in today's episode too is what's going to be happening with that kit that was rumored. We saw like a month ago, there was some talk if this was going to be legit or not. And here we see it, the Barilla 1992-93 kit that Francesco Totti made his debut with under Carlo Mazzone, and God rest his soul. Also is the rain jacket that Mazzone is infamous for, that blue one with the yellow in it and red on the shoulders. So I think I'll pick this up. I'm not one for like vintage kits and stuff like that. I don't really want to collect anymore. I don't have enough closet space, and like a lot of the lettering on my kits in my closet is just starting to get messed up. But this might be something to get autographed and framed. If I ever get the chance to meet Totti again, it would be so nice to have him autograph this one and put this in a little area. But let me know what you think. Are you going to pick this kit up or not? Let me know in the comments right now, please, as you're watching this recording. But we'll tell you that the Adidas gear so far this season has been great. I bought a windbreaker and some pants, like windbreaker pants. They're really good. I did get to see the jerseys in person. Quality's solid. So I'm happy with Adidas so far, I have to say. And they're not paying me. I'm not getting endorsed or anything. It's just honest. Okay, what's going on with Piacenza? I'm going to read you this report from The Athletic. Italian club Piacenza sacked 2 coaches on Tuesday, November 19th, with Simone Bentivoglio hired and fired on the same day. They're currently in Serie D, the 4th tier, but spent the majority of the 90s in Serie A. On Tuesday morning, they sacked head coach Carmine Parlato, along with the director of sport, Alessio Sestu. Bentivoglio, 39, was appointed and oversaw one training session before his contract was terminated later in that day. He was then replaced by Stefano Rossini, who was sacked in October by Piacenza and was replaced by Parlato. And on Wednesday, the club appointed Carlo Maria Zerminiani as their new DS, sporting director. Bentivoglio was convicted in a match-fixing scandal in 2011 when he served a 13-month suspension from football. Piacenza was also implicated in the scandal. The club were handed a 4-point deduction over 10 years ago now, which they also got a further 5-point deduction over their financial difficulties. They were then relegated and declared bankrupt, which is why they're all the way down in Serie D. Their most recent campaign in Serie A was 2002 and 2003, and then their next 8 seasons were Serie B. Then in 2012, they were refounded as Piacenza Calcio 1919, and then have been in the lower leagues since. They're currently 11th in Serie D with 14 points from 12 matches, and doesn't look good. So to see a former great team now just depleted, it stinks. Same happened with Messina. We can remember when they were in Serie A. Siena is also bankrupt. I feel bad for them. Nice big stadium, and they can't do much of anything with it. So this Saturday, we've got Milan Juventus. I'm going to be headed actually to the Serie A is having a viewing party in, just trying to get the right slide here. That viewing party is going to be in Canal Street in Manhattan. I'm going to stop by as part of Football Italia. We were invited to go check out what the day is going to be like. They'll be hosting Milan Juventus on the screen, then I think Parma Fiorentina or somebody like that for the later game. So that should be pretty cool. I also have a story coming out for Football Italia today about Giuseppe Rossi. Looking forward to seeing that as well published. So this past weekend, we had the Pepito Cup, and with Giuseppe Rossi there, it was really cool. I got to play for Roma Club New York, and we crashed out. We did win one game. I sprained my ankle in the first 20 seconds. It's what you get for being 34 and not warming up properly. However, it was good to play. I got to play some center mid, which I like, and some striker, mix it up, and it was just fun to see everybody. There was Palermo Club, Inter Club. Napoli ended up winning. The guys from Ribalta in New York, they had the sponsors, and we had our sponsor from Keste in Manhattan. Really good pizza. So if you ever need some pizza suggestions in Manhattan, I'm definitely your guy for that. Just let me know. But as we look at Milan Juventus, this is an interesting lineup. I don't think it's particularly good for Milan. I would take Juventus over them any day, especially right now. Reinders, Fofana, Loftus-Cheek's a decent midfield, talented for sure. Theo and Tomori at the back, Hernandez left, and Emerson Royale on the right. Pulisic and Morata lay out. So it's actually not that bad once I look it over, but I do like Juventus' squad. Conceição is a really skilled winger. He just came over to Juventus. Weah is going to get the start as a striker rather than being the right wing forward. Coop Miners will be there along with Thuram and Locatelli. Yildiz out on the left wing. Savona and Cambiaso on the flanks with Kalulu and Gatti between them, and Di Gregorio in net. So I'm gonna take Juventus 2-1 or 1-2 rather, since they're the away team. So Vlahovic will not be available, but even with that, I'm still taking Juventus on that. All right, guys, we'll be in touch. Let me know what you think about this recording. Anything you want mentioned, anything you want to say, throw a like up there too. We'll talk soon. Ciao.